Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of your favorite midday NFL show on the internet. Fourth and Forever, presented by Roundtable Sports. Richie, how the hell you feeling this afternoon, my friend?
How am I feeling? I'm feeling great. I'm
How
feeling
you feeling?
fantastic, man. Thank you for asking.
Mm,
We're excited
mhm.
about it. We got a lot of questions via our Patreon mailbag, which I'm excited to get into. Shout out to all of our Patreon
Wonderful.
members. We have a lot of things to get into in today's show. A jam-packed NFL day, a jam-packed NFL week as usual. NFL free agency starts next week. Fourth episode here of Fourth and Forever, your NFL offseason show Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. EST. Would mean a lot to us if you guys can simply smash a like button, subscribe here to the channel, and share it with your family members and your friends to get them on board. Let's do it.
Indeed. What about you, TD? How you feeling?
I'm beautiful, man. It's a nice day outside. It's not hot. It's pretty cool. Just, the breeze going and a lot of players getting released and a lot of players getting signed. So free agency is underway. Exciting times, man. Let's get into it. I can't wait to talk about everything going on in the NFL.
It's because these teams need to maintain cap compliance by March 12th. We are seeing quite a few releases, like TD has already suggested, some murmurs about potential trades, and also perfect landing spots for free agents. But we will get all of our answers next week. To echo Richie, we do ask that you smash that like button for us. I think that it is the easiest way to show some love and support over to the boys at Roundtable Sports. So smash that thumbs up as we get into the first topic today.
Dan,
Go ahead.
I don't know if you're connected to your mic. Double check that.
Oh, no, dude.
It could be.
It's not even plugged in, Rich.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. You got that
It's
crispy
not
audio
even-
going to waste. I mean, we're doing
It's
Fourth
not
and
even-
Forever, Dan. We got you this mic for a reason.
Oh, man.
Come
Yo,
on.
man, you know what?
Ooh, look at that difference.
Sorry from robbing you guys of takes. Not in
Dan goes whole
clean
live streams
audio.
with so many people in there going nuts, and then afterwards, I wasn't even on my mic.
I wasn't even on my mic after a while. It's still something that I'm learning. I do need to buy that one little thing you told me where it has multiple ports that I could just like plug on in because now I
Cal
just have
Digit.
little,
The Cal Digit, man.
it's the Cal
elite.
Digit, man. I'm just gonna bite the bullet and just get it done. But anyway, first topic, last night's news after yesterday's episode of Fourth and Forever. Joey Bosa was released from the LA Chargers, all right, saving them a considerable amount of cap space. I don't blame the LA Chargers. When you hear the word injury prone, and quite frankly, I find it frustrating when people attach that to particular players. Don't ever call a player injury prone ever again unless you are comparing him to Joey Bosa. This is the guy that I have no argument, and I will not argue with you when it comes into a guy that is quite literally made of glass. I can only recall maybe one or two seasons where he has played a full slate of games. However, I still think that he will draw some interest from the free agency market. I don't think a team should pay any more than $7 to $8 million average annual salary. It's certainly a high ceiling, a high reward, massive risk, but I do still think that he will get some interest. Richie, thoughts on Joey Bosa? Does he still have anything to bring to the table? And quite frankly, is he worth the risk?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's worth the risk because it's going to be a cheap contract. Someone like him getting cut like this, he knows that his market is going to be pretty low. So I think that Joey Bosa is going to go to a win now team, to a team that doesn't really have a lot of cap space that can fit him in. That's how I look at it. I think that he played pretty well last season. It's not like his issue has always been injuries. And I think it's a low risk, high reward type of move, whatever team goes in. I mean, if I'm Buffalo, I would even look at Joey Bosa personally. I mean, I think that he's a really good player. And when he's on the field and he's healthy, he's a dominant force. And I feel like his brother coming into the league kind of stole the star away from Joey Bosa because Nick Bosa came in and was just an absolute dog right away. But Joey Bosa is still that dude. He can get to the quarterback, set the edge, and do everything you need from a defensive end in this league. So we shall see where he ends up going. But I feel like at the end of the day, you look at what he brings to the table from an edge rusher standpoint, you definitely got to be on board that Joey Bosa is still that dude. So 72 career sacks. That's unbelievable. That's a lot of sacks.
Yeah.
72 career sacks.
Especially considering how many games he has missed. Very impressive. But hopefully whatever team he does sign for, that strength and conditioning team is going to have their work cut out for them. TD, thoughts on Joey Bosa? Can he still bring some quality production to an NFL organization? Is he worth the risk? Talk to us.
Yeah, of course. Like Richie said, the salary for him isn't going to be astronomical, so he can bring value to almost every team in the NFL except the Chargers, obviously. But that had more so to do with the number. Yeah, the injuries are a concern, but with the price that you're going to be able to bring him in, you're bringing in a weapon, and this is a good move by any team that makes it. I can see him becoming a Dolphin, honestly. Potentially, like every free agent I say that with, but
yeah, obviously.
But no, he could go to multiple teams. He's still now. Bosa got to ask yourself this question: legacy. You know, you've already made some money. What's the legacy here? Are you trying to go to the Hall of Fame, or are you just trying to play a couple more years out? Because if you're trying to, you know, turn this thing around and barely get into the Hall of Fame, then we're gonna need to go to a team that's gonna give you an opportunity to be the guy. Then, you know, we need to go on a campaign for the next 3 years to get 12 plus sacks, you know, and that'll put him in a light discussion for the to be in the Hall of Fame. So at this point in his career, with such a great start, he got to start deciding what he want to do for his legacy. Is it important? Is it a feat he wants to achieve? Or is it a case of, let me go get some money, play some football, and be done in a couple of years? So he'll decide, and I think whatever team he goes to will kind of tell you where his mind is with that. So, hey, let's see who gets him. It'll be interesting.
Now, watching our friend Last Second Sports, our 49ers contributor at Roundtable Sports, Jesse, he is a huge proponent because I guess a lot of 49ers fans are obsessed with the idea of having both of the Bosa brothers in San Francisco. And he is probably the biggest antagonist to that take due to the injury by itself. I wouldn't like that fit, but I mean, speaking from a Bills fan's perspective, like, we all want Myles Garrett, but we all know that a realistic move to expect is that we bring in Joey Bosa for a cheap contract and he lasts about 5 games right before he has some hamstring that sidelines him for the rest of the season. But I'm very interested to see what he can do. I hope that he can stay healthy because when healthy, he is a game wrecker. But the Chargers did end up making that move so that they could move on, find a replacement on the edge rusher position, not so much to create additional cap, but the Browns ultimately ended up making a move that finally got them into cap compliance, and it had to do with their good friend Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson was restructured once again, creating nearly $28 million worth of cap room for the Cleveland Browns. Now, fun fact is that the Cleveland Browns have already paid the vast majority of the $230 million that was fully guaranteed to Deshaun just a couple of years ago. And all they have to do now is pay him his fully guaranteed salary next year as well. And they are ultimately gone. So they can wipe their hands from this contract after next year in 2026. Still, of course, wondering if maybe a team would be interested in shipping him off and or trading him. Who the hell knows at this point? However, Watson has been restructured, and now I'm kind of trying to guess, like, what is next for the Cleveland Browns? What are they going to do? Is this going to be a tank season for them so that they can go into recovery mode from a very, I would say, irresponsible contractual decision? Richie, talk to me on your thoughts of Deshaun Watson being restructured. Where do you think the Cleveland Browns are going from a speculation standpoint? Talk to us.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson's getting a restructured deal. They freeze up $36 million in cap space. And this kind of, all of a sudden now, he's on a minimum salary. And this is what they got to do. I mean, this was the worst contract in NFL history. And he has a $46 million salary next year. I mean, right when it happened, I knew it was a bad contract. I never understood it from the jump. And then he had a lot of off-the-field issues that led to it. And then he had a lot of on-the-field issues, which not staying healthy. So, and he also didn't play well when he was healthy, in my opinion. So, big, unfortunate news for Cleveland. I think that Cleveland has a chance. I mean, if I'm Cleveland, you got to draft the quarterback. I mean, if you have the second overall pick, you have Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, one of those two could be your franchise quarterback. So, I think you do your homework on them, bring in a quarterback this year, Or if you feel like Myles Garrett's gone and you want to get Abdul Carter, that's up to you guys. But I feel like a quarterback is what the Cleveland Browns need desperately with the whole Deshaun Watson situation going south, especially on a rookie contract. Why wait till next year in a quote-unquote deeper quarterback class? Who knows that you'll have the second overall pick next year? You don't know that. I think that's important. You have the second overall pick and can take the second best quarterback in this draft class on your board. So that's what I would do if I was the Cleveland Browns. Draft a quarterback at number 2.
Draft a quarterback at number 2. And what about you, TD? Thoughts on the contract restructure? And what do you think their next move is, man? Because as Richie said, he wants them to draft a QB, but they've also been interviewing an edge rusher by the name of Abdul Carter, also Travis Hunter. So who the hell knows where the Browns are going? Talk to us.
I'm more and more convinced that they're going Abdul Carter at this pick. They invested too much in Deshaun Watson. I know we'll all disagree with this. They need to move on, but they're not. I think they're literally going to allow Deshaun Watson to play in 2026 and see if he got one little last spark in him. I think that's exactly what they're going to do, because otherwise, why in the heck would you restructure the deal right now? What a lot of people don't realize is that just makes the cap even worse situation for years to come, where you got to owe more and more and more money. And a lot of people don't realize that Deshaun Watson is a cap hit of $82 million next year. They're not going to do that. They're not going to take a $82 million cap hit with $135 million dead cap. And they don't even want to cut him for $135 million dead cap, because they'd have to pay about 70 and 70 for the next 2 years. So I could see them restructuring him in 2026 as well. Like literally bringing his base salary down and saving the team about $45 million, and then kicking the can a little bit more. So buckle up, Browns fans. You might have Deshaun Watson playing football in 2026, because in order for you to have had that be the case, you shouldn't have restructured him right now. You should have just taken the massive hit so that you can get past this. Yes, this gives you immediate release, but it was a fully guaranteed contract. There's not like it's there's only this much dead cap. No, it all equals out because it was fully guaranteed. Man, right now it's $172 million dead cap. And next year, based off of this restructure, you're only down to $136 million dead cap. 136.
Got it. So his base salary was converted to 1.2.
Yeah.
In 2025. Next year, though.
And they already paying 27. Listen, he reduced his base salary to $1.25 million this year, but he's still a $37 million cap hit. Why? Because of your last restructure.
Yeah.
Where you owed $27 million on the restructure last time. So now you do it again?
So next year, his cap number is $81.7 million.
And you think they're going to do that, Dan?
I think that they're going to restructure it as well, but that's the final year of his guarantees. So that's the final year of his guarantees. So like they could spread it across, and they also have 3 void years on his contract.
Yeah, and exactly. That's including 3 void years already on the books without next year's restructure. So buckle up. He's going to be your quarterback in 2026. He already came out and said he wants to play football, and he wants to play for Cleveland, and he's going to come back, and he plans on being the quarterback. I would not be surprised if Deshaun Watson isn't the quarterback marching out there giving his last chance in 2026. Because did you even get a full season from him?
No, you didn't.
Didn't need it.
And I'm not talking about a full season through, but 17 games worth. I don't even think you got 17 games worth in the 5 years.
So you're still holding out hope for this guy, man?
I'm not holding out anything. I could care less. But I'm just saying, when you look at the numbers, it's like he's going to be a Cleveland Brown. He's going to be playing football in 2026. Unless they want to eat $36 million in dead cap, which means they're going to have 2 years in which they're taking a $67 million cap hit for 2 years. It ain't even worth it at that point. It's not even worth it. So, yeah, man. What happened?
Nothing, man. You're just nothing, man.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, it's inevitable. If you look at the circumstance they're in, this is tough. This is tough.
Oh my God, man. The Cleveland Browns, one would assume that if you're paying that man that much money, you might as well rush him out there in 2026 and at least give that. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it's already a waste of money, but at least give you an opportunity of proving, hey, maybe I knew what I was talking about from the very beginning. Who knows?
Well, actually, I was wrong. It's worse than I thought. I'm looking at it now. Because first of all, he's not going to get traded. I think we can all agree on that. Nobody's going to trade for him. But look at the post-June 1st release, the pre-June 1st release in 2026. They take a $135 million dead cap hit in that 1 year alone. Not spread out. And if you release them post-June 1st, you take a $82 million dead cap hit in 26 and a $54 million dead cap hit in 27. He's going to be the Browns quarterback in 26.
He's not going to.
Highly likely.
They would be so dumb to make him the starter. I don't understand.
I'm not saying the starter, Richie.
Yeah, he'd be
but he's going to be on that roster.
Yeah,
because they have to. Is one thing.
They have to convert it.
He should not strut out there as their quarterback one in 2026.
Yeah. Well, training camp is going to have to tell that.
Oh my!
He's just a bad quarterback, and they just got to admit that. Just get rid of the guy. Eat the money, get rid of him.
Well, they can't eat the money. That's the problem. They can't eat it.
That is one thing.
Dan, everybody in the chat wants you to talk about the Sam Martin news.
The Sam Martin news. All right. Listen, we can switch around the topic schedule because those next two that we were supposed to get to really wasn't jiving me up. So we're probably gonna go right in here, baby. Breaking NFL news. We ultimately ended up seeing. I love this graphic, by the way. This is absolutely beautiful. What are those?
You're welcome.
That. Sirens. For a second, I thought that they were ping pong paddles for a hot second.
I swear, dude. This is what it is. It got the vision. It gets here.
So before it came to fruition this morning, I was on the stream saying, "What the hell is Brandon Beane taking so long to get cap compliant?" Right? Because this morning we were still close to $10 million over the cap, and I thought that we would start to be hearing some moves coming out of Buffalo. I will be completely honest with you. I did not see this one coming. Maybe it's because I saw several other players that were in line for a restructure, like some big, some movers or some contracts that could potentially be moved that could create closer to like $7 to $8 million in savings through restructures, extensions, what have you. But Sam Martin being released is interesting. It saves about $2.2 million for the Buffalo Bills. It is getting us around $6 million over the cap. I don't think this is the final move. As many of us remember, he was the replacement after the Matt. So that one punter, Areza, when he ultimately ended up getting his massive controversy that kicked him off of the Buffalo Bills. He was the replacement for us. I'm fine with Sam Martin being gone. I'm fine with us hitting free agency or perhaps even bringing in a younger guy that could potentially be. But again, we're talking about an offense here that was number one in average points per game, and we really didn't have to punt too often last year. So I'm fine with this. This helps out with the cap, but I will tell you what to expect next. I have a feeling we're going to do something with that Greg Rousseau contract. He's playing on his fifth-year option. He's due a $13.5 million base salary. If the Bills elect to ride that out, I don't think that is realistic. So I think he will be the next one to be extended, hopefully getting us cap compliant, and then also end up looking for Dion Dawkins, for Matt Milano, and several other players to be restructured, and also a massive extension for Josh Allen, which I think will help us get around 35 million in spending once the new league year rolls around on Tuesday.
Next week, baby.
Next week, man.
Let's do it.
Next week.
Some
I'm
Buffalo
ready for some
Bills
exciting
news.
Breaking news, man. I really, really am. And
now, I will say
ahead.
this. You know, we are talking free agency. It's free agency frenzy. But I want to remind people the NFL draft is also a big deal. And we do have a very exciting show here on Roundtable Sports that happens to be live today.
Oh,
watch Draftaholics, folks. Today.
Watch it, folks.
You have to watch it today because it is a great show. As you can see on your screen, we have a mock draft 3.0 that is going to be at 5:30. It's hosted by Colby, Patriots Global. You got Broshimo, which is one of the top NFL draft YouTubers on the internet. We got our own Detroit Lions creator, Joseph Dion, or Indianapolis Colts creator, Derek, who's going to be on this show. They're going to be doing a post-combine mock draft. So all you draft gurus out there, stay tuned today on this YouTube channel, 5:30 p.m. EST. It's going to redirect you right after this show there. So make sure you guys go check them out. They're doing a lot of fun things. It would mean a lot to us, guys, if you can support all the shows on the network. Obviously, we got Fourth and Forever live Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. This show is live once a week on Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. EST, and we're excited to see the boys get back in action in the mock draft simulator today.
Shout out to those guys, man.
And also, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to join the membership. The join button is right below you. If you want to become a member of Roundtable Sports, you have that opportunity right now. Hit that join button to show your love and support. You can also gift memberships to those who can't get them themselves by hitting the join button and pressing gift membership if you want to show love and give some of your fellow viewers a membership to the channel. Thank y'all for
Of course, and hands down the easiest way to support us over here is just by smashing that like button and telling your friends about the #1 midday NFL show on the damn internet. But hey, listen, we're all sitting here talking about cap space, right? Like how specific teams need to get cap compliant by next week. And I think a lot of teams are in a hurry, or at least fan bases have this top of mind, because a lot of people want DK Metcalf to be a wide receiver for their organization moving forward, right? And news just came out that Seattle is reportedly looking for a first-round pick. Yeah. And you know what? It's kind of interesting because I was scrolling through the world of social media today, and I came across this one gentleman. I forget his name, but he was on TikTok. And he was pointing out why he believes that DK Metcalf is not a wide receiver #1. And he doesn't deserve to be paid $30 million per year, and he's not worth a first-round pick. I'm not saying that I agree with this, but I thought it was interesting and intriguing discussion topic. He was saying that for a guy his size, 6'3", he's 225 pounds, he has a very difficult time with 50-50 balls. In fact, in all contested catch situations for the past 2 years, he has had a 30% contested catch success rate and 28% the year before. Really not being able to play to his overall size. He's also never been a wide receiver #1 in the true sense, since he has always been surrounded by the likes of Tyler Lockett and now JSN out of the slot in Seattle. So I think I want to go around the gallery here and see if you guys believe that he would be worth a first-round pick. Will he ultimately end up being sold off for that? TD, talk to me.
Man, whoever you were talking to, shout out to them. That brings perspective to things, because as soon as he said it, I said, what is this guy talking about? Why were you even talking to this clown, Dan? And then I looked up the stats. I'm like, whoever you were talking about, they might be on to something.
Like, might know ball. Yeah.
Yeah, they might, hey, might be a ball knower, not like Richie,
might be a ball knower.
Might be a ball knower.
TD out here.
He might be a ball knower, you know what I mean? Who knows?
Oh, stop, Richie. No, don't get me started. Don't get me started. All right, but yeah, DK hasn't been enlightening. I mean, he's been giving you solid numbers, but he hasn't been in the upper echelon. I mean, when I look at these numbers from DK in the most recent history, he is a #2. These are #2 numbers. I'm sorry. And on top of that, yeah, maybe you could get a 23, 24 million a year deal. That's what these numbers look like to me. Now, I love the average per reception, but I'm sorry, man. This doesn't jump out the gym. This isn't Jamar Chase. This isn't some of the best receivers in the league production.
Yeah.
Only on receptions, Richie. But DK is just a big body threat, and I didn't know that about the contested catches, because me screaming and hollering, we need a big receiver who can go up for the 50-50 ball in Miami. Listen, you're not a 50-50 guy if you're only doing it at 30-something%.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude.
Like 50-50 guys, you got to at least 45 or better.
It's eye-opening. Yeah.
So man, whoever that is, man, give him a shout out. let them know. They know ball. That's a good point. Something I never realized or thought of. So good stuff, man. He's a number 2. He isn't worth that money. And I heard that they want a first, but I heard they already got an offer of a third.
Yeah.
So I heard that they haven't gotten a better offer than a third-round pick. And I got to be honest with you. Yeah. If you really want him, I think you need to part ways with a late second. But yeah.
Is now one good sign also that points out to how DK is truly a wide receiver number 2. I feel like you can always look at all of the wide receiver number 1s in the NFL and associate a play that really defines their career, right? Like you can go to Justin Jefferson and that crazy 4th and 20 conversion that he had. Way too many plays to discuss with Jamar Chase, so on and so forth. But the one play that always comes to my mind about DK Metcalf just so happened to be him stopping a pick 6 by tackling somebody. That's great athleticism. I love it. But I mean, really outside of that, like there's nothing that really jumps out to me. And granted, I'm not a Seattle Seahawks fan. I'm not sitting here watching every single snap of DK Metcalf's career in the NFL, but something to consider. Me personally, say that the Bills were to go out and get this guy, I would be absolutely livid. Say, for example, that we sent over a first-round pick and paid him anywhere close to $30 million a year. Richie, thoughts on the compensation ask for DK?
Yeah, I think the first-round pick is a little too much. You just saw Deebo Samuel go for a, 5th-round pick? And I know that he's entering his final year of his contract. DK Metcalf is a very good receiver in this league. I think you can put him in the top 20, top 25 range. I feel like he's still got a lot of juice left in the tank. I mean, he's a dude that is 27 years old. I think that's right in the prime of your career at the wide receiver position. You're kind of that young veteran, if you would call it that. And whatever team gets him is going to be very happy. And I don't think someone's going to pay a first and a third. That's something I definitely think is a little too much. I mean, just a second, I can see maybe a conditional first-round pick. This would be smart, but I don't think a first and a third and getting $30 million is worth a guy like DK Metcalf. That's like if someone like, a younger receiver like T. Higgins can go for this potentially, or someone that has a little bit more upside than DK Metcalf. I think this is way too much of a deal, but hey, this is what the Seahawks want. This is their price. So there's nothing wrong with Seattle saying this is our price, because what if somebody pays it? They're like, all right, we got something out of it, because I don't want to bring the Jets into this, but they are on the other sides of one of the worst trades ever. They paid 2 first-round picks for Jamal Adams. 2 first-round picks for Jamal Adams. That was just an awful trade value on their standpoint. I can't believe they accepted that. And that's how the Jets got Garrett Wilson, by the way, from that trade. So I don't know if the Seahawks understand trade value as an organization, or they're just trying to get the most out of their guy, which there's nothing wrong with.
And they're trying to make up for it for that Jamal Adams trade. I think that we can all agree there. I'll tell you what, speaking of pending free agents or available players, one that is very close to TD's heart is Jevon Holland, right? Pending free
don't
agent
start this
safety.
Jet stuff.
No. And so I'm saying one that's very close to TD's heart just so happens to be Jevon Holland. Right now, his market value is between $15 to $18 million per year. And I want to ask TD, right? Like, there's no question that Holland's had a very up and down career. He's had issues with Vic Fangio, with the rotating, like, different defensive coordinators for Miami. So I got to ask you about Jevon Holland. Do you think that he can actually bring a lot to the table for a specific NFL organization? Would he perform better under a new regime? And more importantly, what kind of landing spots do you see this safety being a day one contributor to?
Well, first of all, about Jevon Holland, I think that whatever team he goes to, it's going to depend on that team. You're going to be getting a good player, okay? Now, whether or not he's an elite player, all depends on the team. This is the type of player where, depending on his surroundings, will determine how good he is. And I'm not talking about because he's taking advantage of that person and now I'm talking about if your system requires him to do more than just his role, he's going to be a good player because he's playing in your system to help you mask some of your inefficiencies. But if your defense is good and everybody is solidified at their spot and you don't have to overcompensate for a weakness and he gets to just do his job, then you'll get a really good player. You're going to get a top-notch player. So that's what it comes down to. So you can't lose by bringing him in. But, I just don't, me personally, I don't like the selfish nature of him, in my opinion. He may not be selfish to many, but to me, he is. And when I say that, he's still going to do his job, what you tell him to do, but he's not going to like it if it's not him doing his role and playing it out to his fullest. Because some of these defensive coordinators, the best ones, they're going to say, hey, we're going to need you to do this and do that. In his mind, man, this is my job. Let me do my job so I could be try to be an all-pro. I ain't going to say he going to be an all-pro, but he going to try to be. That's where he is as a player. He ain't going to be an all-pro, but he going to try to be, okay? And he ain't going to become one, but he going to become close to it. Like, man, he was up there, but not quite. So that's who he wanted. He wants to build his resume. He wants his accolades. He wants to be a great. But also, he's going to do his job if he can't be put in that role, but he's not going to like it. He's not going to like it. And that showed you with Vic Fangio. He said, I'll never forgive this guy or whatever. Him or Ramsey said that. But they were unhappy about Vic Fangio's system because it required them to kind of get out of their primary role and do a little more. And they didn't like that because it didn't make them look great. They didn't make Pro Bowls and all of that stuff. So that's all it is. You're going to get a great player. I mean, and I don't I'm sparingly don't want to use the word great because I don't think he's great. I just think he's really good. He's really good. But whenever we talk about great, he's not Minka Fitzpatrick. He's not those guys. But he's really good. Somebody's going to get him and they're going to be happy about it. Just put it like that.
So what do you got on that, Richie?
Yeah, I mean, Jevon Holland is probably the best safety available in free agency, for sure. I think he had a down year last season for his standards. I think he is, a guy that is entering the prime of his career. He has a ton of upside. I think that in the proper scheme and the proper coaching staff that is going to instill confidence in him to be able to do all the things that's asked of him would be a lot for him to be able to, evolve as a player. I think there's a lot of stuff, untapped potential in his game if he gets the right coaching staff to really unlock who he is as a safety in this league. And, the teams that are interested are the Patriots, who has a ton of cap space, Tennessee, Carolina, the Jets insider, Rich Tomine of ESPN, predicted the Jets to sign him to a 4-year, $80 million contract. The Jets have a wide open hole at safety. That's like one position we have nobody, not even one soul on the safety unit is here because all 4 of our safeties that we had last year are entering free agency. So I could see the Jets splash at Jevon Holland if they feel like it's necessary, knowing how much Aaron Glenn loves the safeties. Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch, arguably one of the best safety tandems in the league in Detroit, and Aaron Glenn's defense kind of relies on having that back end in the secondary zipped up. The Jets got a great corner in Sauce, a great nickel in MC2. We need a CB2 and 2 safeties. So I could see the Jets going out there with the new cap space we got to pay Jevon Holland and then draft someone in the mid-rounds, and that's our 2 starting safeties.
See, you know what? I've been intrigued about him potentially becoming a Buffalo Bill as well, but unfortunately we're bargain bin shopping, and I'm not entirely sure that we would be able to afford him. He's incredible in coverage, and I really think that he would fit in well to several of the teams that are in our graphic below us here. Pats, for sure, because they have Scrooge McDuck money. Same thing with the Titans, perhaps, and then even the Panthers, right? Which is, oh my God, man, I love talking about them Carolina Panthers. I love talking about them.
Are you a
Carolina
Panthers fan?
Panthers.
Is that your second favorite team because you're from Carolina?
Dude, you know what, man? I don't have a second favorite team. I am Bills until I die. But I did actually live in Charlotte when they went on that Super Bowl run in 2015. And the city was electric for sure. I was happy to see smiles on people's faces, knowing that
Charlotte's a nice
my
city.
team's going to the Super Bowl, man.
Yeah. I went to the Jets-Panthers game in Charlotte. It was really dope. I really liked it.
Yeah, man. It's definitely a cool little city out in North Carolina. But, folks, right before we move on, I'm actually interested. please shout out what team you're currently representing in the live chat right now, because there are 409 of you in here. There's 148 on YouTube, 260 on X, one of you on Twitch, and one of you on Facebook. Look at that. All right, folks, listen, do not be shy. Please let us know what team you are representing in the live chat. And then also, where you heard from us. Where do you got? We have Vikings, Skulls in the chat, Team USA, Fins up. We have the Buffalo Bills, Mike 862. What is going on? Jets, go Bills. John Wolf is in here. Jets on YouTube, baby. We got the Patriots in here. The Jets, a lot of AFC East, man. That and a Vikings fan. Let me see some other divisions, folks. Do not be shy. Hey, listen, we have a small little Vikings community that has been absolutely riding with us for a while. Shout out Sarah.
How are we gonna get this show out to like
Tony? Listen, I will smack Bob as long as everybody watching this contributes in the live chat right now and tells me what team they're representing. All right, listen, I will get as many.
Man, Dan.
There you go. There you go. It's my cardio for the day, folks.
Bob gonna get you back one day, Dan. Bob's gonna get you back, bro.
Dude, listen, he did actually once, man. Like I went in and then he bounced back real fast and he kind of cut my lip up. Well, that and he messed up my my fist. So now what I got to do is I got to go ahead and wrap up my knuckles a little bit before I start going really ham on the fool. But
folks, I want to say we have a goal every single episode to get at least 100 likes. It would mean a lot if you guys can do that, and I would really appreciate it. And Dan, I have a new graphic that I'm about to put on the screen that I think is going to be your favorite, and that's going to be the next topic.
Oh my goodness. Patreon mailbag questions. Damn it, man.
Nice. Hey, man.
All right, listen, y'all. If y'all are unfamiliar with what Patreon is over at Roundtable Sports, it is a further way to support the boys over here, and we give you a bunch of very cool benefits. One of them being exclusive access to our private Discord, where you can also have access to the Patreon mailbag and ask us questions on air that we all discuss in detail. I believe the Patreon link is in the description. There is a variety of different tiers, and you can just go on ahead and peruse and see which one makes the most sense to you. But we have Patreon mailbag, man, and you know what? Wow, man, we got 3 questions. I'm feeling it right now. 4th and forever, all right? Look at that. Check out Patreon, guys. Like I said, we have a variety of tiers that align with everybody's budget. Go on ahead and take a look and see exactly what makes sense to you. It goes a long way supporting us, and we give you a bunch of really cool benefits on top of all of that. But anyway, let's get to the first question. 4th and forever. We have 2 questions here from LaSalle. All right, LaSalle, he's a fan favorite over at the AFC's Roundtable. Who has the most to lose this season coming up? The most to lose. That's a curveball. Who wants to tackle this bad boy first?
TD's got his hand raised.
Well, when we say most to lose, are we talking about
NFL?
Us?
NFL.
It could be our favorite teams, or it could be, I'd say, right across. Yeah. In the NFL.
The most to lose in the
most
NFL?
To lose. I wish that I had a better understanding of I sort of want more context.
I think a good answer last year was the Jets, all in or nothing. The Jets had the most to lose, and we lost it all.
Yeah.
So a team that's kind of needs to go out there and execute and be successul this year. Otherwise, they're
the team I think has the most to lose. Yeah, I'm gonna say the Miami Dolphins, which is crazy. I was trying to think about a team other than us, just not to make it about us, but it's the Dolphins.
I feel like at this point you have nothing else to lose.
Which means you got everything to lose.
I feel like you have nothing else to lose at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if we fail, we don't have a lot to lose, because everything that we will lose is not valuable anymore. Chris Greer wouldn't be valuable. Mike McDaniel, Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek will be gone. Armstead will be gone. They'll probably be trying to move off Ramsey at that point. We would actually go through a complete rebuild if we fail. We would actually start a complete rebuild. Otherwise, we'd be hanging around like the Saints, just trying to be a football team. Like, if you think about it, nobody likes to talk about this, but think about teams like the Saints, the Arizona Cardinals.
It's not,
teams like that. they're not going anywhere anytime soon, but they're not terrible. But they're just not going to be good enough. You need a whole new makeover. But instead, they keep on trying to put different brands on the same face.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. And Dolphins would enter that territory because I don't even
the Giants staff comes in.
Yeah,
true.
Our Giants,
True.
well, yeah.
As far as jobs are concerned, that's for damn sure.
Yeah.
So I have an interesting one, and I'm sorry, Vikings fans, because this is probably going to upset you. But it's not necessarily based off of a roster perspective. I did see that y'all extended one of your safeties a bit earlier this morning. But I think the Vikings have a very intriguing crossroads that they need to decide on within the next couple of days. And it's the decision on who is going to be the quarterback for this team. What if they make the wrong decision? And I'm not telling you what decision is right or what is wrong. But what if you decide to pay Sam Darnold all of that money, and then he turns out to be the Sam Darnold that was the final QB of Week 18, right? That was the final QB in that playoff game. Even if you do end up benching him and going with J.J. McCarthy, right? Like, he's still on your books. It's going to handcuff you eventually in potential moves that could really propel you into greatness within the league. And say, for example, you let Sam Darnold walk and you give the keys to J.J. McCarthy, right? And it takes him a couple of years to develop, and all of your stars start to age out once he does get to the place where he needs to be. So I think that decision of where they go with the QB in 2025 is largely going to cement their future. I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings in 2025. That was hot. That was hot. Ricky,
Wow.
team with the most to lose, bro. What you got?
Yeah, I think the Miami Dolphins, I agree with that, actually. They're a team that if they don't win now, then they got to do what the Jets did and purge the entire organization. And that's what's going to happen, by the way. Like, I don't know. There's no other option. I mean, what's going to happen there with the Super Bowl? Like, come on now. We got to be honest with ourselves here. Like, what's
Richie,
gonna,
you've grown to love to hate on the Dolphins.
No, I've grown to tell the truth about the Miami Dolphins. And everything have I ever been wrong about Miami? Ever?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Never. So they are just the same team they always are. They're the Dolphins, TD. They're the Miami Dolphins. They're very easy to predict. And by the way, how did that poll end up going for you on X about Garrett Wilson versus Jalen Waddle?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, man, even Dolphins fans like, what are you talking about, TD? Yeah, Garrett Wilson's better than Jalen Waddle. His own fan base knows the truth.
No. Richie told his whole audience, y'all go vote on this. Man, listen. That poll
I see Miami Dolphins fans underneath it even saying it's Garrett Wilson, man. You gotta figure it out. But getting into the next Patreon mailbag, Lascelles says, how do we schedule the Zoom for the Patreon? So we're gonna do the Zoom call, which is a big part of the, what is it, Dan, the $25 tier? Where you get
$25 tier where you get
once
an exclusive
a month.
Zoom. We will be releasing the date of when that happens. I would imagine it's probably going to be toward the end of each and every single month. But stay tuned, Lascelles. Don't worry, man. The monthly Zoom call hangout will be coming.
Yeah, and the link will be sent over through Patreon as well. And then Jets Indy says, are you confident that Aaron Glenn, Sean McDermott, and McDaniel can fix your team's issues this year? I'll start off with Aaron Glenn. Listen, I don't really know what to expect with him. This is his first time coming here. I'm excited. I think he's going to not be able to solve all the Jets' issues in year number one. That's for sure. I think that it's going to take some time for Aaron Glenn to wipe out the dysfunction that this Jets team has had for a long time. I'm not going to sit here and be delusional, think that it's going to be perfect this upcoming year. There's going to be adversity. There's going to be things that go wrong. There's going to be things that Jets fans are going to be upset about. But they got to be able to have an open mind and let this new regime with Aaron Glenn deal with that adversity, deal with the struggle as an opportunity for growth. So that's really my mindset with Aaron Glenn, and I'm not expecting him to fix all of our team's issues this year. But some of them, yes.
Some of them.
Like even Dolphins fans know Waddle got no hands. Trade Waddle for DK.
Is that why everybody
Waddle got no hands?
Is that why everybody voted Waddle better than Garrett Wilson?
Oh man!
You mean the opposite? Want me to pull up the poll? I mean,
yeah, you can pull it up. You'll see that more people voted Waddle than Garrett Wilson. But yeah, I don't have any faith that Mike McDaniel can get it done. I'm just hoping that we can. I think we're gonna have an 11-12 game win season and lose in the first round. But we will have some success this year and we'll finally win the division.
Wow.
You deleted the
That is a bold take. All right, listen, it's very hard for me to count against McDermott unless, of course, it's just playing the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. That is the only thing that I'm not confident in because I need to see it for it to actually happen. But as far as this season, as far as the collective season, like last year, like we had so many doubters of where that team was going to finish. Even with the roster that we had last year, he ended up putting out like one of the most wins in franchise history, one of the best offenses in franchise history with what we ultimately ended up having. So I have nothing but trust for Sean McDermott and this coaching staff to build a winner that will at least be in the same position as they were last year. As far as what happens if we run into the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs, that's an entire different conversation, but I will not address that until it happens. I need to see it to believe it. But yes, I do think that we will effectively fill all of our needs, and we will have a very similar season to what we had last year, at least regular season speaking.
So TD Finns Talk went out there and deleted the poll.
What poll, Richie?
You want to
deleted it?
Oh, no worries. I screenshot it, all right. You nice try, TD. Nice try. No. Screenshot it last night. Woo,
That's AI.
That is screenshotted at 8:42 last night because I knew you'd try to go out there and delete it. 87% people voted Garrett Wilson. You got even people below. Trade Waddle for DK. Wilson by a mile. I can't believe this is an actual poll. TD Finns Talk went out there and tried to delete it, but had no idea. I went out there and screenshot it. I'm a step ahead of you, TD. Always know that. I'm always a step ahead of you.
Richie, yeah, I deleted it. It was 1,500 votes and Waddle had 14, so the 13 is wrong. That's fake news.
He had 14. Wow, dude.
I'm always a step ahead of you, TD. Nice try.
He was on a comeback.
This is a bad look, man. Yo, listen. Honestly, TD, like what I do, like say for example, I have a god awful take on the internet. Like rather than me deleting it, like what I do is I just mute it, bro. And I just don't read like any of the comments. Dude, listen, I'm telling you, man.
I'm suing Richie for taking a screenshot.
Like not reading comments does wonders. You know what I mean? Like one of the last comments I ever read actually made me laugh. It's like, I heard that Dan doesn't read comments, so you're telling me that he just spews out his shit takes and lives life consequence free. So it's true. It's true. Like you can just spew out your controversial takes that many perceive to be shitty, and you could live a very calm and rewarding life. All right?
Yeah, but Dan,
I'm not the only one, TD, by the way.
I don't have any bad takes, Rich. Dan.
Well, you did have one yesterday, and it's on even our Discord.
Our
guys on Discord even screenshotted it and put it in. Go to Roundtable Sports Discord.
That's 84% of the people crazy, man. That's all it is.
Man.
It's 84% of the people are absolutely insane. All right, listen, we have one more Patreon mailbag question. And again, folks, if you are interested that you want to have your question read on air during Fourth and Forever, certainly go check out our Patreon. I'm pretty sure that like you can get access to the mailbag portion for the $5 tier. So certainly go check that out. TD, curious question. If Sanders is a better processor of the field than Cam Ward, why do you feel Ward is a better quarterback than Sanders?
Because athleticism has a higher weight in the NFL today. And Cam Ward can also process the field. I just feel like Shedeur Sanders is a better processor of the field. So athleticism in today's NFL rules the day. You have that trait, it's a higher weight than just processing the field. Because you could process the field and realize, man, they in a great coverage pre-snap against this. Let me audible. But, man, they switching with me. And sometimes you still got to hike that ball. Who got a better chance of making something happen when nothing there? Cam Ward does. And again, Cam Ward can process the field well as also. But Shedeur Sanders, that's what's going to carry him in this league. As long as you protect him, he's going to have success. If you have him running for his life all day, he'll still play good football, but it's not going to move the needle. I'll put it like that. So that's why.
Intriguing. like me personally, like what I like about Cam Ward is that he's just super calm under pressure. And I do think that he is a bit more of a threat for extending plays. But then again, like maybe Shador ends up switching up his entire mentality of not taking as many sacks because he wants to salvage his overall statistics. Since he's in the NFL now, like what's the point, right? Because like one would assume,
that would be massive.
Like one would assume that he wanted to preserve his passing stats by taking as many sacks so that he would be able to up his overall draft projection. Like now he's in the NFL, like maybe now with Shador, he's going to be a bit more aggressive in extending plays outside of the pocket. But that's what I like over Cam Ward for Shador. Richie, thoughts on that? Like, who do you think's a better prospect, Cam Ward and or Shador Sanders?
Oh, wait. Who do you think the better prospect is, though, Dan? You giving it to Shador?
Cam.
Okay.
Cam.
Yeah, I mean, I like Shador Sanders as a prospect because he can process the field, but I do think that Cam Ward's a better prospect because of the arm talent, the athleticism. He still got upside to process the field, the same level as Shador. And I feel like in this era of football, you need to be able to make all the throws in order to step up your game like Mahomes can and Allen and all the elite quarterbacks in the NFL. So that's why I got Cam Ward as a number one quarterback for sure. Agreed with this.
Well, that's two quarterbacks we know the Jets aren't getting. So
we get one of them, baby. It just matter which one. Oh, you're going to be screwed if the Jets get one of them, T. Do you know that? Because you love both of them.
I know that, but it ain't happening.
Love both of them, Mo.
It's not happening.
You better hope that doesn't happen, man. Oh, I can't wait for draft season.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good for me because I'll be rooting for both of these kids in the playoffs. So I'd hate that
in the playoffs
because I just have to. No, in the NFL. Sorry. So I'm gonna be rooting for both of these kids' success in the NFL.
I know that's what I'm saying. Get your NFL, get your Jets jerseys ready.
No, you can get out of here with that. I'm just gonna become the biggest hater of one of them.
Folks,
but that ain't happening.
Hit that thumbs up button, baby. Let's go. I'm having fun on this Fourth and Forever show. I don't know about you guys. We're putting in a lot of energy. We're putting in a lot of assets into this show. We're also live now on Twitch. If anybody likes Twitch, go check out Roundtable Sports on Twitch. We're also live on Rumble. What the heck is Rumble? I don't know. I'm just trying to get our name out there, folks. Rumble. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Instagram. We're live on X.
Nice.
And, of course, YouTube is the real home of Fourth and Forever. So, folks, hit that like button. We're super close to getting 20,000 subscribers, man. It would mean a lot if you guys can help us out to get to 20,000 subscribers by the end of free agency. I think that's a good goal. By the end of next week, folks. And we're 6 likes away from 100, folks. 6. Come on, man. Come on. Let's go.
Wow. We have Joseph Dion saying, I am invested in Rumble, so this is good. He invested in Rumble. I had no idea that our boy Dion was a venture capitalist. I love
Wait, how much?
His resume is insane.
How much did you invest into Rumble, bro?
Yeah, bro. We need to have a talk, fool. No. I'm just
a topic that I saw that I want to talk to you guys about. It adds into more of this T. Higgins situation. Teams have contacted the Cincinnati Bengals. Hey, what do you want from T. Higgins? And the Bengals are like, we don't want anything. We're keeping him. We're gonna try to extend him ourselves. This is one of the craziest sagas that I feel like we've ever seen in terms of a organizational wide receiver. Dan, I'll start off with you. I know you're very passionate about this discussion.
I am.
What is your thought process of the Bengals saying no to every single trade package coming their way and trying to extend him long term?
It is showing the incompetence of an unserious organization. That's precisely what it is doing.
Y'all need to stop.
It is an unserious, disrespectful organization. Even Amon-Ra St. Brown said on his podcast, like he was just like, I can't believe that the Bengals had the audacity to give T. Higgins a second-year franchise tag to hold this man hostage. Sure, I'm sure he's happy that he's going to be getting a fully guaranteed deal if they don't elect to extend him. But, I mean, dude, again, all right? I feel like I'm a broken record when I say this, but I feel like it's that much more important, or it is that imperative that somehow this could get to the front office's dome pieces. Your coveted trio of Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase is excellent. But what did that give you for the past 2 years? A 9-8 record. What has been your Achilles heel What is holding you back from getting back to the Super Bowl? It is a quality defense. I'm not even saying a top-tier defense. I am saying a middle-of-the-road defense is what you need. The Bengals' priorities are so ass backwards. You franchise tag T. Higgins. Why don't you use that, grab some additional draft capital, and build the defense that you built a couple of years ago that brought you to the Super Bowl in the first place? I feel like your overall priorities are backwards. Like, yeah, it's all fun and games. Like, all the 10-year-olds are pumped to use your offense on Madden. But outside of that, go back to what was successful. And what was successful for the Cincinnati Bengals 4 to 5 years ago was a high-quality defense. That is what got you to the Super Bowl that year. It was not this trio. It doesn't matter if Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are going out there and putting up 30 points plus per game. If your defense is equivalent to a junior varsity team that can't stop a nosebleed and you're giving up 35, 40 plus, it's all for nothing. Man. Get rid of T. Higgins, get your draft picks, address the damn defense for the love of God. What I
say? I agree with Dan. You got to address the defense, but Dan hating on the Bengals, man, because they're a real threat to Buffalo. Listen, what's wrong with them franchise tagging T. Higgins if they have intentions on giving him an extension? They just need more time to figure it out with him. That's all. So I think that they'll get a deal done. He'll get a massive deal. He's gonna be making like $35 million a year. Then Chase gonna come through with 40. So they just gonna have to bite
definitely. And then Dan Mitchell and Tony Dow are gonna be starting free and strong safety.
Hey, give me one game check at a minimum. I'm good with that.
Like, that's where they're headed right now, man. Hey. Holy hell. If they do that, then they wouldn't be able to afford a UFL, an XFL safety tandem back there, baby.
Oh, man.
Like, hell, man.
Damn, man.
Go to downtown, like, Cincinnati and go to your closest, like, workers union and hold tryouts for your DBs and edge rushers, for the love of God, man. Like, it's... is what
Thank you. Let the Bengals be the Bengals.
If, like, you don't think that you could put up the very similar numbers with just Joe Burrow and Chase, I think you're nuts. Like, people are trying to think, like, yeah, like, T. Higgins was important to the offense, but, like, let's stop acting like T. Higgins leaving is going to make the Bengals a perennial 20-point offense from now on. Like, absolutely not, dude. Like, you have Jamar Chase on this damn team. Come on.
That's fair.
Damn. That's why I made this topic. It gets Dan Mitchell fired up.
Dude, man, holy hell, bro. Come on, Bengals. Wake up, man.
Fired up. Fired up, Dan Mitchell. That's what you are right now.
Oh.
That's pretty cool. Shout out to our people on Twitch right now that's watching us. We even have our own Roundtable Sports Network on there. Let's do it. Dan, we have a lot.
It's not even so much about the Bengals' new defensive coordinator either, because that defensive coordinator had an incredible defense during the Super Bowl run. He got fired due to lack of personnel, and I think that's like the easiest telltale sign that it wasn't a coordinator issue. It was just a lack of quality personnel. That's me.
Now, today was a jam-packed episode. Dan, I wanted to give you the floor to let the people know what they can expect on the Dan Mitchell Show.
Yes.
I don't have anything planned in terms of a graphic for it because I got to see the final logo and everything beforehand. But
yeah, you definitely do. So, folks, the Dan Mitchell Show will be having a soft launch tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. It's largely going to be me unpacking all of the main storylines. I'm going to incorporate quite a few of call-ins on this show as well. We want to build this up because I want to be able to give back to our live chat community by giving you an opportunity of calling in and really just getting whatever you need off of your chest. It could be any topic surrounding your favorite team, and we can just have an open discussion about it. I am planning on updating the Patreon segments to allow anybody with the $10 tier on Patreon to have the ability to call in to the Dan Mitchell Show. It is going to be a call-in / a shred line, if you will, where we just get to talk ball and I answer your questions for you. and we just go off. It is going to be as interactive as humanly possible. There's the logo. Pretty damn sweet, if you ask me. The Dan Mitchell Show. We're going to be incorporating quite a bunch of really cool stuff, some guests from across the network. First episode will be tomorrow. I'm planning on running that bad boy at 4 p.m. EST.
Look at that. The Dan Mitchell Show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Move along, Pat McAfee.
It's a soft launch this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then regular schedule from now on will be Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. But certainly turn on your bell notifications so you don't miss out on an episode. I'm going to have some pretty good guests on this bad boy.
Congrats, Dan.
Congratulations, man. We're looking forward to it.
Thank you so much, man. I sent the pitch over to the boss, man. He said, of course, Dan Mitchell, you can have a Dan Mitchell show.
Nice.
You know?
Oh.
Shout it out. Shout it out. I was about to say, Richie, not the aesthetic, bro. All right. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Fourth and Forever, the #1 midday NFL show on the internet. We ask you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't had an opportunity of doing so already. Smash that like button. And for those of you watching the replay of this, please turn on bell notifications because we want you to be a part of our live chat community, because engaging with our audience is what makes Roundtable Sports so damn fun. Richie, what do you got for us, man, right before we send these people off on their merry way?
2 more likes away from 100. We want to get at least 100 likes for every single live show. We appreciate it, guys. We're live every day at 2 p.m. for your NFL offseason coverage all offseason long. Next week is free agency, which we're very excited to cover. Woo! A lot of fun things happening here on the network that you guys are a part of. Let's get into it, man. Fourth and Forever Roundtable Sports. A lot of fun things happening.
What do you got, TD?
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Can't wait for tomorrow, Friday. We go into the new the weekend, getting ready for free agency. And listen, man, y'all, let's have a big show tomorrow. Our first week of Fourth and Forever will be in the books, man. I'm excited about the future of the show. Let's have some fun. Let's get it.
It's going to be a big, big day. Bright future for Roundtable Sports, folks. Smash that like button on your way out, and we will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place.
Check out Draftaholics live at 5:30 today for a full mock draft first round. We'll see you guys there. Peace.